Hello everyone, in this video we will solve Python data structure questions and OOPS questions, and also we will solve one coding problem from final round. So without getting late, let's get started. So here is our question number 1. What is the output of the following program? We have been given with an outer function here, and we are calling that function with we have taken a variable a is equal to 10 and outer function is called. So what is happening in this outer function that we need to define, and we need to find out what is the output that is going to print. Okay. So in this outer function, we are declaring global a. So whatever the a which is globally declared, that is taken as consideration here in this function, and we are assigning 20 value to that a. And again, this function is not called because we never call this inner function, right? So we need not to execute this function right now. So some people think that we call outer function is called, right? So we need to execute all the lines inside this outer function, but we are not going to execute all the lines. Only the outer function lines should be executed, and this is another function inside this outer function, so we need not to execute these function lines. Okay. And now a value is 20, right? So outer function is called and a value is 20. Now if you print a value will be 20. That's the answer. Okay. So that's the answer. Question number 2. So what will be the output of the following code snippet? We have been given with a class named sales, and we have an initialization function in it, and we have an ID for that instance variable for that sales class. So we are calling a sales. We are creating a object for sales using and storing it as referring it as val, and passing ID as 123. So the self.id value will be 123 now, and we are printing val.id. This will print 123. You may think that id is 100, right? So when we print id will be 100. No, it not be 100. It will not be 100 because self.id is an instance variable, whereas id is a local variable. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful before answering this question. People think that many students think that it will be easy. It's a easy question. Just id is 100, so the printing statement will print 100. So it's not the answer. It's not correct answer. The correct answer is 123 because one ID is here referring to instance variable rather than local variable. So the answer is 123. Question number 3. What is the output of the following function when head node of the following linked list is passed as input? So here is some linked list. Here is a linked list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where head is 1 now. So this function is called using this linked list, and we need to find out what is the output that is printed. So let's see this function right here. So we are called with with this linked list, right? So let's see, the linked list is like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So first the head is 1, right? So head is 1. First it is called with the head 1, and if head is equal to none, return. So here head is not none, right? So we are not returning anything. Then it executes this this if loop. If block is executed because head dot get next is 2, and again next is 3. So the present the value of head dot get next is 3. So 3 is not none, right? So we are going to execute this if block. Head dot get data print. We are going to print the head. Present head is 1, right? So we are going to print number 1 in the output. Okay, let's take this as output, and we are printing that 1. And next, fun of head dot get next. So head next is 2, right? So with the 2 as head, we are calling the function again with head as 2. So now head is not none, right? So this if block will not be executed and will not return anything. And again, if head dot get next now present head is 2, right? So the next of 2 is 4. So 4 will be present head, this value 4 is not none, right? So this if block will be executed. And head dot get data. So present head is 2, right? So 2 will be printed right here, and we are calling head dot get next with by passing this head dot get next and calling the function. Now present head is 3 now. 3, right? So the present head is 3, and we are calling that. 3 is not equal to none, right? So we are not returning anything, and head dot get next is now 5. So 5 is the value head dot get next. So this will be not none, right? So this if block will be executed, and print head dot get data. So present head is 3, right? So we are going to print 3 as output now. And next we are calling head dot get next. So the next head is 4 and we are using this 4 as head and we are calling the function again. This first if block will not be executed because head is not none, right? Head is 4 now. So it is not none. We are not writing anything. And head dot get next will be none because for 4 head, the next value is 5 and the next value is none because there is no value right here, right? So it is none. This if block will not be executed and we are going to print head dot get data. So head is 4. So we are going to print 4 right here. And next, we are not calling any other functions. Now again, whenever the head is 3, right? So when the head is 3, we have to execute this line, right? So we need to execute this line. We haven't executed this line because when head is 3, we call this function right from here. So this line is still there and this will print 4, right? At the last execution, we have printed 4 and the interpreter will come to this line and will print head dot get data. So head will be 3, right? So 3 will be printed right here. And again, when head is 2, we haven't printed the this line. We haven't executed this line, right? So we need to print head 2 here. And again, we haven't printed 1. We haven't executed this line when head is 1. So we are going to print 1. So this is the output that we need to print. Okay. So that is printed in the output. So the option is option A is correct answer. Question number 4. What does the below function using the stack data structure do? So we have a stack data structure here and this function, we need to find out what this function is doing. So what is the purpose of this function? We need to find out. Okay, there are some options. Let's see the program. Let's see this function first. And we have been initialized with a stack of 100. We have a stack data structure. Assume that we have a stack data structure with what are the functions that are required to stack. We all have that methods and we all that all methods are present in the stack data structure. Okay, we are initialized with the stack value. Okay, stack variable. We are creating a stack of 100 while n of n greater than 0. So let's take n as some value. Okay, let's say 125 is a n value now that is given to the function. While n greater than 0, so while n is greater than 0, right, 125 is greater than 0, so we need to go inside this while loop. Stack dot push of n modulus 10, so n modulus 10 will return 5, right? So the 5 will be pushed to stack. Let's take this stack and we are pushing that stack to 5. Okay, 5 is pushed to stack and n is equal to int of n by 2. So n by 2 will return n is equal to int of n by 10. So int of n by 10 will return only 12 because we are dividing 125 by 10 which returns 12.5, right? So 12.5 is again converted to integer which is 12, right? So now n is having 12. Again n is greater than 0, right? 12 is greater than 0 and n modulus 10 will return 2. So that 2 will be pushed to stack. And again this expression is executed and one will be stored in n. And again one is greater than 0, right? So stack dot push of n modulus 10 will return 1 and 1 is pushed to the stack. 5 to 1 is pushed to stack. And we are initializing and in the next iteration n will be 0, right? So this while loop will not be executed and we will execute this result function. We are declaring result is equal to 0 and while of not stack is empty. So if stack is empty, this function will return true. If it is not, it return false. So we are using a not operation to convert that false to true. And result plus equals to stack dot pop. So what this expression is doing is it will pop each and every element from the stack and add it to result. So we are finding a sum of all these numbers which are present in stack, right? So we know the principle, right? Stack acts as the principle of stack is first in last out. So whatever or last in first out, whatever the element that is pushed last, that will be taken out first. So last in first out principle is working on stack. So we are taking, in the first case, we are taking 1 and we are adding to the result and result will become 1. And we are taking again next iteration, we are taking 2 and we are adding to the result. And in the next iteration, we are taking 5. Okay, we are adding that. And now the result will be 7. The value of result will be 7. So that value is returned. Let's see the options which is correct. We will see. Takes a number n as input and returns 0 if it is divisible by 10. No. It will not return 0 if it is divisible by 10, right? So we are not checking the divisibility condition here. And next option, let's see option C. Takes a number n as input and returns the sum of all digits divisible by 10. No, it is not giving only divisible by 10 digits. We are adding all the numbers, all the digits, right? So this is also wrong answer. And takes a number n as input and divides each digit of the number by 10 and returns the sum of result of each division operation. So we are not adding the division operation. After division operation, we got a value, right? We are not adding that value. We are taking each digit and adding sum, right? So this is also wrong answer. So the correct option is option B. Takes a number n as input and returns the sum of its digits. So this is the correct answer. Which of the following statements are correct about the given code snippet? I'm not going to solve this problem. Solve this problem by yourself and post your answer in the comment section. Okay. Let's go to coding question now. So here is our problem. Given an integer n and an array where n is less than length of the array and greater than 0. So n value lies between 0 and length of array. And here in example test case, n is 2 given and array elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. 3, 3, 4, 4. And output to find the least number of unique elements after deleting n number of elements from the array. So we need to delete n number of elements from the array in such a way that we need to get least unique elements from the array. Okay. After deleting n number of elements, we need to get least number of unique elements should be there inside that array. Okay. In the above example, 1, 2 should be deleted. 3, 3, 4, 4 will be remaining. So 2 unique elements will be present in the array, right? So if we delete 4, 4 from the array, you will have 3 unique elements, right? 1, 2, 3. Even if you delete 2 3s, then you will have 1, 2, 4, 3 unique elements, right? So only if you delete 1 and 2, then only you are going to get 2 unique elements, which are 3, 3, 4, 4, which will return as 2 unique elements. Okay, so the output should be 2. So let's see the pseudocode first, and then we will see Python and Java code. Here is our pseudocode. We have two functions. One is frequency and another one is dictionary sort. We will look at these functions later. And right now we have to see how we are taking the input. Okay. Here n is initialized with int of input. So we are taking the input and converting that into integer and storing it as n. And we are also taking array input. And I will explain this entire how we take the array elements while doing the program, while writing the program. We are calling frequency of array. Okay, we are calling the frequency function by passing the array and storing the return value in D. Okay, what this frequency function is doing is it will take the array elements and divide and will convert that array elements into dictionary based on key value pair. Key as a number and value as a number of frequency of element. So frequency is nothing but number of times the element has been repeated. Suppose in the example that is given we have 6 elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4, right? So the frequency of 1 is 1. So one time 1 is repeated, and frequency of 2 is 1, and frequency of 3 is 2 because 3 is repeated two times, and 4 is repeated twice. So the frequency of 4 is 2. So this is how the dictionary will look like. So the output should be like this. So one will happen. 1 is key value pair for 1, and 2 1 key value pair for 2, and 3 twice and 4 twice. So this is the resultant dictionary that we need to get after this execution of this frequency. Okay, we will discuss about this frequency function in detail while writing the program. And just for now, the frequency function will return just a dictionary by taking array as elements and return key value pair dictionary. Okay, key as element and value as the frequency of that element. This dictionary sort will return the dictionary as a sorted order. Okay, in sorted order based on frequency, it will sort in ascending order. That dictionary object will be returned from this function. So we are calling again passing D as a dictionary, and we are calling the dictionary sort and storing the result return value in D. Okay, this is suppose let's take this example 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, n is equal to 1. Okay, let's take n is equal to 2 here. This is the given input, right? So what is happening inside this function we will see. We have an empty list declared here. So this empty list is used to store all the removed elements. We will add all the removed elements to this list so that we can track of elements which are removed. And we can also, we have declared a count where length of d dot items, right? So length of d dot items length will be like, suppose how many number of unique elements that are present in dictionary, that will be returned by this length of d dot items will get. So 4 number of unique elements are there, right? So 4 will be stored in count, and we are iterating, we are using d dot items, and we are iterating through each and every element of the d dot items, and num is having the element and I is frequency of that element. Okay, so we are checking whether I is less than n. Okay, whether I is less than on, which is checked by n minus I greater than or equal to 0. If n is less than that frequency of that element, we cannot delete that. We cannot delete that element. Even if we delete that number of frequencies from the element, still there are some more frequency elements will be present inside that. And next, we are going to whatever the element that is removed from the dictionary, that should be added to the list, because we are going to track all the elements that are removed, right? So we are going to add that element to list, and we are subtracting that I value, number of elements we are removing. Suppose if we remove one, that is occurred one time, right? So we are going to minus subtract 1 from this n, so that we can keep track of n value. So if we don't change the n value, we can delete all the elements from this array. Okay, so we need to change the n whenever we delete an element. And next, we are subtracting 1 from count, because once an element is deleted, we can simply remove that. We can reduce the count of that unique elements, right?
A few moments later.
So in the beginning, we have 4 unique elements, and once one is deleted, we will subtract 1. So the count value will be 3. 3 unique elements will be there, and n will be 1. So again, this condition, this in the second iteration, d dot items will return num will be 2, right? So 2 is occurred one time. So I value is 1 and 2 and num value is 2. So this will remove the 2 value from the dictionary, and we are subtracting I from n, and we are subtracting 1 from count. Now count will have 2 as value, and we have 2 unique elements, right? 3 and 4 are the unique elements. Now n becomes 0. Whenever the n becomes 0 in the next iteration, n is equal to 0, we are breaking the loop. Okay, simply we can print the list and count. So okay, so we are printing what are the elements that are removed from the list, and what are the elements that are present inside the list which are unique. Okay, we need not to print this list, and we can simply print count. For debugging purposes, I have added a list also. This is all about pseudocode. Let's see Python code and then Java. So here is our Python code. Let's see. We have a frequency function and a dictionary sort. Okay, we will see what is happening in this frequency function first, and then we will try to debug all this program, debug this entire program. Okay, this function is passed with an array. So let's consider this is an array 1 2 3 3 4 4 is the array, and we are passing it, and we declared an empty dictionary, and we are iterating through each and every element of the array. Okay, we are iterating through each and every element of the array, and we are checking whether that dictionary is already having that key value. Suppose 1, in the first case 1 is, right? So we are checking whether 1 is already inside this dictionary or not. As the dictionary is empty, right? So we can say it will return none, because 1 is not there. So 1, it is none. If this function returns none, then we are going to initialize that. For the first time, we are going to initialize that key value with 1, and the next time, in the next iteration, 2 will be there, and 2, which will also return none, because 2 is not inside, not present inside this dictionary. So we are going to initialize that 2 with 1. Okay, and again these 2 values will be added to the dictionary now, and now dictionary look like this. And next, for 3, we are going to, for the first time, we are not going to get none, and in the next iteration we are going to get not none, because already 3 is added, and 3 column 1 will be there inside the dictionary. So 3 is already present. Just we are going to add that value. We are going to increment that value for key 3 1. Okay, so we are going to add 1 value from to the key element 3, and again 4 will be there, and 4 will be returned none, because 4 is not present in the dictionary till then. And after this iteration, and 4 is already present inside that. So while iterating the last 4 element, we will get not none. So we are going to add 1. We are incrementing 1 frequency for 4 element, and that dictionary will be returned. So finally the dictionary will look like this, and that dictionary will be returned here. Okay, and then dictionary sort function is what it is doing is, it is taking d dot items and sorting based on frequency. So we are sorting the dictionary, we are sorting the dictionary as in ascending order based on frequency value. Okay, based on value we are sorting it. and returning that sorted list by converting into dictionary, and we are returning that dictionary. And so we are taking integer n, and we are taking array elements like this. So we are taking input string and we are splitting that string based on comma, and we are mapping each and every element as integer and converting that map object into list, okay, and storing it as ARR. Now we are calling the frequency function and returning whatever the return value will be stored in D, and we are calling dictionary sort by using that D as a parameter, passing the D parameter, and we are storing again that returned value, return dictionary to D, and whatever we have seen in pseudocode, we have doing all those things in this program. So we are removing the elements which are less frequently occurred first, and then in that order we are increasing frequency of elements. Based on the frequency of element, we are deleting in ascending order.
A few moments later.
So let's see the execution process here. So let's copy this input. So let's take 2 as n, and so 1 and 2 elements are removed from the list, and 2 is the unique element that are remained. Those are 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay. If you want to check another condition, let's say if you want to check another condition, another test case. So let's say 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 4, 4, and 5, 5, 5, 5. So 1, 3 elements are removed, because so if you see 1 and 3 are unique elements. 1 is occurred one time and 3 is occurred one time, whereas 2 occurred 3 times, 4 occurred twice, and 5 occurred thrice. So the least number of frequency elements are 1 and 3 are one time repeated. So we are going to remove 1 and 3, and we have remained n as 1. So we don't have any element with frequency 1, right? So we are not going to delete any other element. So we have 3 unique elements. They are 2, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 2, 4, 5 are the unique elements. So 3 is a correct answer. Let's see Java code now. So whatever the whatever the algorithm, whatever the pseudocode that we used in Python, that is same used in Java also. So but we don't have dictionary concept in Java, but we have a util package where we have so many data structures like hash map, and linked list, and double linked list, circular linked list, and all these data structures are present inside this util package. And we are using those packages. We are using especially we are using map data structure and list data structure in order to sort these elements and create a map. Okay, map is something like dictionary, same as dictionary, but key value pair is stored in, but it is a different name. With we will call it as a dictionary. So we have a scanner object, and we are taking integer n and storing taking array elements and storing in a list by converting each value as integer. And we created a map with map variable, and we are calling frequency. So instead of creating two functions, one is for sorting and another one is frequency calculation, we have created a single function frequency, and we are doing both things. Okay, we are creating the map and we are sorting that map. So let's see the what is map doing here. Frequency function is doing. So we have created a map, empty map, and we are adding each and every, we are creating map here using whatever the technique that we used in dictionary. This is the same technique. If map contains the key, we will increment that value. If map doesn't contain the key element, then we are going to initialize that key element in the map. And we are creating a list, empty list, and we are going to sort using this list. We are going to add the entire map into this list, and we are going to sort. So here is a lambda function here, which will sort the entire list, which is and in ascending order based on a value. Okay, based on value, we are going to sort the list in ascending order. And we are again creating a temp hash map, and we are putting all the key value elements from that list in the ascending order into temp. We are writing temp map. Okay, and again once the map is returned to this map variable, and we are going to, for testing purposes, for debugging purposes, we are printing map. And we have a count variable where we need to find out the unique elements, right? So we will subtract whenever we remove an element. And we are not taking any list, and we are going to assign, if we remove an element from the key value map, and then we are going to assign that value of that key as 0. Okay, we are not going to use any list. So we can simply skip here, we can skip the list here also, but for keep tracking of whatever the elements that are related we have added. Even we can change the dictionary here also, so we can reassign dictionary key values, whatever the elements that are deleted, we can assign those values as zeros. That's what we are doing here. We're checking whether the value is less than n or equal to n, less than or equal to n. So then we are, if it is less than or equal to n, then we are going to delete that element until n is equal to 0. If n is equal to 0, we are going to break the loop, and we are finally printing the count. Let's execute this program. So the dictionary which is sorted is, so map is map sorted in 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 1, 3 is equal to 1, 4 is equal to 2, and we have two unique elements. That's what printed in count, and 1 and 2 elements are removed, right? So we are assigning 0 to zero frequency for those elements, and the remaining 2 elements having the same frequency. And if you want to execute this program for the above text case that we consider, let's copy 3. So 1 and 3 elements are removed, 4, 2 and 5 elements are not removed because they are n is insufficient to remove all these elements. So if you like this video, hit the like button and share with your friends. Thank you.